Hey, GutFoxx here. Today we've got this new game mode in Madden, Salary Cap Beta. So we'll click onto it and we're going to talk today about how to build the best lineup. So we go here to Salary Cap Rank Beta screen, and this takes us, we'll edit our player lineup instead of locking in to our lineup. So the first tips I want to get to for how to build the salary cap, you want to choose between whether we want to build around a 99 overall player like a running back, wide receiver, defensive player, or whether you want a balanced lineup. For my first lineup, I chose a balanced one. I didn't take any of those high-end price cards. I wanted to see how this works versus the other method. There is no right method there. I'll probably try the imbalanced one next 6 games. But here we go for this one. So I chose the balanced one. And when you do, you got to know your scheme. My offensive scheme is running the ball about 60% of the time, and then on defense, stopping the run out of dime flat, or 4-3 under, or 4-3 over flipped. So like for example, this Binds, he's low priced, but he's gonna be on a line of scrimmage most of the time. And he's got 88 blocks to help stop that run. I figure against the pass, I'll either use her out of the dime flat, Telvin Smith, or out of the 4-3, Nate Askew, to stop that and try to get some picks that way and turnovers. But I think there's a pretty big advantage to using only one formation on defense, say 4-3, instead of switching it up. That way you don't have to spend as much on CB 3 and 4 if you just focus on 4-3, or if you're in the dime mostly, that way you don't have to focus on outside linebackers. But again, out of the dime flat, I got safeties. I like safety with high play rec, zone, and a little bit of speed. This Thomas DeCoud is probably better than Adams here. There's not many great strong safeties in the game around this budget level. So you want to look at the styles. So as you'll see, I have run stuff and ground and pound, to help out my running game. And you really want to build a lineup. You're really not taking too much advantage of things if you're not building around those styles, since they're +5 to 4 different categories. Run stuff's that tackle, hit power, block shed, and strength, which is whatever. For these cornerbacks, you'll see I made an interesting choice on all of these. Like Jason Taylor's at my cornerback number 4, Tart's at 3, Johnson and Werner are at CB 1 and 2. I'm going to play a lot of cover 4 out of the dime flat, and make sure you really know what you call a lot of the time. Like if you call a lot of cover 2, these first 2 should be high block shed zone guys. If you call a cover 2 man, these should all be speedy man coverage guys. So it really depends on how you play defense to style your defense. So basically, I'm going to test out in this first 6 games Werner here at corner number 2 versus Johnson at corner number 1, and see who really lets up more or does a lot worse for those jump balls and whatnot on streaks. But the reason they're both here is because of their block shed. If we can, I don't think we can see it in this menu, which is kind of frustrating. We can't scroll down all their stats. And Taylor and Tart here are going to be on the inside and zone coverage in that cover 2 or 4. And they're basically there to stop the run too with their high block shed, because their safety's down there and kind of fast. Still, this Tart will be good. And then Hunter and Miller. Hunter's not great passing on the pass rush. Block shed 83. I've got Torrell Trout here to back him up. If I ever come into a guy that's just running down my throat, I'll sub out Hunter. But Von Miller's a great flexible. Look at that 90 block shed along with 89 speed. Power moves, finesse moves at 96. And then Ian Williams is going to be my number 2 defensive tackle to try to take on double teams. His block shed's 99, which is exactly what you want. And then Donald's kind of more of a pass rusher. He's somebody I really want to test out. I really more focus on, in my main squad, guys with block shed. But in this salary cap mode, I'm kind of down for testing it, seeing what plays better for me on these budget. And always, when you look at your budget, your cap total, 1,000, never be like at 990. You're giving up quality if you're ever under your cap. So always try and maximize your cap. I mean, if you're at 999, then it's whatever. But like you're giving up value or quality if you're ever under your cap. So if you think you're cool being at 990, there's always an upgrade to make. All right, so let's get on to the offensive side of the ball. All quarterbacks are expensive, and 81 Stafford is 52. This isn't fantasy football. They, for some reason, skewed them high because I guess quarterbacks in real life cost a lot of coins or dollars in American sense. So Stafford is the choice there for me. But you guys can go all the way up to 70 coins for Tom Brady's road to the playoff, and that's the perfect pocket passer if you're passing scheme without scrambling much. I mean, the scrambling does cost quite a bit of coins just to do that, have some mobility. O-line, D-line, you're going to see a lot of people try to skimp out on these positions, O-line and D-line. It doesn't make sense to get top of the top, especially if you have 90 ground pound or long pass or something, if you're past the ball a lot. So you don't want to spend too much, but you definitely don't want low-end golds and silvers here, because an opponent's D-line, if they spend money on their D-line, it will crush you, more than likely. And again, on defensive line, you do want block shed here, because a guy who spends a lot of money and will cheese you running the ball will frustrate you beyond belief if you do not have the block shed, if they do spend it on O-line and you don't. So you kind of want balanced guys. You don't want to overspend there, but that's, again, try out. If you can run a 6 games without running into a guy that runs the ball a majority of the time, I think you got lucky, because you're going to get a lot. I feel like there's going to be a few of those guys online. All right. But yeah, so during games, I think maybe have like a notepad next to you. If you have a guy that plays well for you, like I've heard good things about this Monte ball, but I've never used him. I've heard from other people that he plays really well, like 96 ball carrier vision, 98 trucking, with okay speed at 93. I've heard good things about him, but like if a guy plays well for you, write it down. Like make sure he's on your rosters again and again. If he doesn't, if a guy shows up and like just makes terrible plays, like say Kelvin Johnson here at cornerback starts getting mossed one after another, or Werner does the same, and they're like, okay, that guy needs to change. If Bynes' speed actually causes a detriment to my roster, and it might. 81 is very low, especially since my left end will be at 89, but I don't expect to run the 4-3 under and over that much. So yeah, so that way you can find replacements for those characters. Mike Adams is borderline speed at 86. That might be too slow for this time of game, and that's kind of... he is borderline for me right now. I'll see how well he plays for me. Editor's note, I ended up subbing him out for a different player with faster speed at safety. I've said this before, I don't like how you can't change between games. You have to go 6 games before you can change. But so another thing about this interesting lineup is that you don't have to go into the salary cap ranked beta to change it. It's really convenient if you go to the auction house, and on the auction house, you can go to this. You can go to your adjust lineup here, and you can switch over with the left thumbstick down and on. So I can switch over to Tennessee, which isn't really filled out, and then you can just by clicking left thumbstick down again, you can switch back. So that's just a little tip. Exit lineup screen. Yep, screen. So let me know how you guys build your rosters. Do you guys like? It looks like all the bronzes and silvers and low golds are being bought up pretty crazily. So if you have anything, list them now. If you're watching this in the future, then don't take that advice. But yeah, that is it. Thanks for watching. Call to action. See you tomorrow.